What a day for the Washington Commanders. This is crazy. The Commanders have parted ways mutually with Kliff Kingsbury and fired Joe Whitt Jr. Now, the Joe Whitt Jr. stuff came to me as a surprise. I did not think they were going to get rid of Joe Whitt Jr. because you could have done that earlier on. You didn't have to wait till the offseason. You could have fired him early on. So I was very surprised with the Joe Whitt Jr. news, but they've gotten rid of him. They've fired Bobby or Brian Johnson, the offensive line coach. They seem like they're just in a mood to fire everyone. So it's just crazy what they've been doing today. Are virtually cleaning house. Everybody but the head coach and GM, right? They are now have to find themselves a new offensive coordinator and new defensive coordinator if they want to, get a new defensive coordinator. Maybe DQ stays the defensive coordinator and a new offensive line coach, and more changes could be coming. Now, you see on your screen, we'll get to this a little bit later, but players are not happy with this move. Players are not happy with what happened earlier with Kliff Kingsbury. They apparently wanted Kliff Kingsbury back. We saw the tweet with Jaden Daniels' mom and her, talking about how Kliff Kingsbury, Jaden year 3. Sorry, I saw this comment from Steve. I'll get to the comment section later, by the way. Did you say Bobby Johnson's also gone? Yes, they fired Bobby Johnson, the offensive line coach. So I thought it was Brian Johnson. Maybe I'm mixing that up. Bobby Johnson or Brian Johnson, whoever the offensive line coach is, one of those two is gone. So the bald-headed dude. So yeah, they fired him as well. So, and I'm not sure why, but they are making, I love the aggressiveness. I love them being aggressive. I love them trying to change their staff. I love them trying to make constant improvement, but I just don't know if moving on from Kliff Kingsbury this soon was the right move. Now, if he wanted to go, okay, you got to let him go, right? Let him go, let him seek his other opportunities. But it seemed like more of a Commanders thing. Like, we didn't want him there. And I don't know what the problem was. Again, there was a disconnection between, Adam Peters and Kliff, apparently. Like, that's true now. Like, Diana Rossini was right. That's true. That report is right now. Like, they must have had some sort of disconnection. This stuff came to us very unexpectedly. And now we are sitting here. We're 2 years into a rebuild. Both coordinators from the start of the rebuild are gone. And guess who picked them? Dan Quinn. Dan Quinn brought over Joe Whitt Jr. He's gone. Dan Quinn made the decision to bring over Kliff Kingsbury. Now he's gone. So Dan Quinn, his superpower, his ability to build a staff, like, are we going to question that? This is ugly. Like, these moves that are to be made this year, because now we have to find a new offensive coordinator, and now we have to find a new defensive coordinator. If these moves don't work out next year, there's bigger changes to come. This might not just be Dan Quinn staying the whole time and making all these decisions. There's bigger moves to come if these two moves do not work out. Miami Dolphins, please fire your head coach. We have been linked to Brian Daboll, and I do not want any parts of Brian Daboll as my offensive coordinator. I do not want any parts. You got to bring me someone from the Shanahan tree. Got to bring me someone from the Shanahan tree, and I'll be satisfied. But I wouldn't have moved on from Kliff. Like, that's just my opinion. You guys are going to hate me. Everybody apparently hates Kliff. Don't know what he did wrong. Did a great job with Jaden last year. Did a great job. I didn't see anything wrong with what he did with Jaden. And this year, they're not going to cut him any slack. Come on. He never got his whole offense. He never had his full offense in practice. Kliff tried everything to get, AP and Terry to get a deal done. They didn't do it. I just don't think this is Kliff's fault. I don't. I don't think Kliff did anything wrong here. I don't think he had a bad year by any stretch of the imagination. I think there was definitely some moments where he shined as a play caller. And now to hear this report that players are frustrated, like, this just pisses me off a little bit. I'm not going to lie to you. I would have kept Kliff. I think one more year and you can move on him. You can move on from him after that. But why are you firing him this soon? Like, I just don't get the reason in this. I don't know what he did. Again, if there's problems within the organization and I don't know about him, okay, right? And that's fine. And that happens. You had to fire him, okay. But But I don't get why I don't get what Kliff did exactly wrong this year. By the way, guys, make sure you smash the like button. We have 14 people in here. Let's try and get up to 14 likes. Make sure you subscribe if you're not subscribed. Goal is 5 super chats today. We're going to go for a while today because there's just going to be news to keep coming out. So we're going to go for a while today. Make sure y'all subscribe to this channel and leave a like on this stream. Let's try and get up to 15 likes since we have 15 viewers. So also 5 super chats is the goal. If you want to send a super chat, that would be really appreciated. Super chats keep this channel healthy and keep this channel running. So those are really supportive from you guys. And I'll get to the comment section when I'm done talking about all this stuff, but it's just really crazy. This is just insane to me. Again, I'm not mad that they moved on from Kliff. I'm not mad, right? I said I'm a little bit pissed off by it, especially seeing this report from Jaden Daniels, apparently not being happy, a little bit pissed off, but I'm not mad, right? If they wanted to make this decision, let them make it. And if it backfires on him, I'm going to say, I told you so. You probably shouldn't have released him this early. But now their job is to find someone, and there has been reports that they want someone out of the building. So it's not going to be Bobby Johnson was already fired, right? Offensive line coach. So it couldn't be him, right? David Blau, maybe, but we're not reaching inside this organization. Like, you got to go out there and you got to look for other people. You got to go out there and you have to get someone. You made the decision to fire Kliff. You made the decision to talk to Kliff and say, we're going to, part ways. Like, you got to find someone then. That's your responsibility. And if this backfires, I'm going to be really, really mad because I don't like this. I don't like it at all. So you bring me McDaniel, though, and I'm happy. Like, you bring me anybody from the Shanahan tree. Imagine Jaden in a Shanahan offense. Now, granted, he's going to have to learn it first and stuff, and it's going to be hard on – this is going to be a hard offseason for Jaden Daniels now that this has occurred. It's going to be hard. Don't think it's going to be easy. It's going to be hard to learn this new playbook, right? And I think that's why a little bit why Jaden is unhappy with this. But you picture Jaden in a Shanahan offense, like, that could get scary. So you bring a Shanahan guy in here, I'm fine with that. But anybody else, like, again, if it's a Brian Daboll, no. If it's a Brian Daboll, and we're already linked to Brian Daboll. The reason I keep saying Brian Daboll is because we're linked to Brian Daboll already. And I'm not happy about it. I don't want any parts of Brian Daboll on my football team. I don't want him near my football team. No, it's not because he's the Giants' ex-coach. It's because he does not have a very good history. And he's not going to be young, and he's not going to change much, and he's not going to help Jaden Daniels. I want a Shanahan guy. Miami Dolphins, please fire your head coach. So Kliff, hey, I love the aggressiveness from DQ. I love the aggressiveness from this staff, but I wouldn't have moved on from Kliff. And this is just my opinion. Let me know your opinion in the comment section. I wouldn't have moved on from Kliff this soon. I would have given him another year, another chance, but this is their decision. Nobody else has a say in it. They decided to move on, and that's the way it's going to be. So, by the way, we have 20 people in here. Make sure you guys smash the like button. Again, we have 20 people in here, so let's try and get up to 20 likes. Please hit the like button for me. Please hit the subscribe button for me as well if you're not subscribed. Leave your thoughts in the comment section. A lot of news coming out today. Make sure you drop a super chat if you can. Trying to get to 5 super chats today. We're going to be on here for a while because of this shocking news that happened. So, I would have let Kliff stay another year. Again, and I can name a number of reasons why I would do that. Again, he didn't get to have Terry and Debo in practice all summer. Like, he tried to get Terry's contract. He tried to fix that problem, to get Terry signed, right? And that did not work, right? So AP brings, trots Terry out there, finally gets the deal done right at week 1, has no time to mesh with Debo Samuel in this offense. And then you go with Noah Brown out in week 2, Jaden out for week 2. Like, I hope you guys realize that Kliff had no one. Kliff had no one. No one. Yes, he's been bad at times this year. Yes, he has been bad at times this year, but he had no one. This is outrageous to me that they let him go this early. But again, if there's problems in the organization that I don't know about, then I shouldn't be saying this. But to me, I would have let him stay another year. So there's Kliff. Joe Whitt Jr., again, I'm not sure why they didn't just fire Joe Whitt Jr. right earlier on in the year, if that was your plan. But um, I mean, that's fine with me, right? Firing him now. I'm glad they fired him, right? I'm glad that he's out of here. I'm glad that they didn't move him to, like I told you guys last week, they're going to move him to, a defensive backs coach or something like that. They're going to move some pieces around. And I thought that was going to happen. I thought, DQ was really loyal to him, but they fired him. And I love that because that's the kind of business this is. You got to fire your best friend sometimes. That's the league it is. So, by the way, guys, all these comments that you're leaving, I'm going to get to all these comments in a second, but I'm going to go down the order. So, if you send a super chat, which really helped me out, then you will get to go first in the comment line, and it will also support me. But I'll get to all your comments either way. You just might have to wait a little bit. Make sure you guys hit the like button as well. Subscribe to the channel. Really appreciate y'all for joining me on this Tuesday afternoon. Again, very eventful Tuesday for the Commanders. So let's talk about this. These players being disappointed in the move here, per Jordan Schultz. My understanding is that the Commanders' offensive players, including quarterback Jaden Daniels, are disappointed with the team's decision to part ways with offensive coordinator Kliff Kingsbury. Daniels vouched for him to stay in his presser on Monday and was among those blindsided by the move. As myself, I'm blindsided by this. Did not expect it to happen. I heard the buzz, but I did not expect it to happen. Offensive players on the team figured the only way Kingsbury would be gone is if he got a head coach job. And that's very true. So, again, this will make you upset, but at the end of the day, if they bring in someone that I think is better, that we think is better as a fan base, because most of the times we agree on things. Like if they bring in someone we think is better, then we'll be fine with it. But if they're gonna bring in a Brian Daboll, like I'm good. I'd rather have Kliff. If they're gonna bring in an older guy here that just really doesn't move the needle that much, I'm not really happy with it. I'm not really happy with it. So I'm going to be interested in what they do, but this just feels like a move that was unnecessary for Kliff. I just feel like, obviously we were going to go get a defensive coordinator. Like you just put more work on yourself. You put more work on Jaden when it was kind of unnecessary. It felt unnecessary. Didn't feel like you had to do much. So I'm just very surprised that this was done, that this has happened, and I'm utterly shocked. So we'll see why. We'll continue to see who they are monitoring, who they're looking at, but this is just very surprising. Also, Scott Abraham, again, I talked about who we're linked to already. The number one name that we're linked to, the number one name that people are saying this is going to happen that I don't want to happen is Brian Daboll. Scott Abraham of, let me see what he's of, I believe, 7 News DC. Make sure you go follow him on X. He wrote this, something to monitor. If Brian Daboll is a candidate to be the next offensive coordinator with the Commanders, let's take you back a couple of years ago. Daboll fired now former Commanders offensive line coach Bobby Johnson with the Giants at the end of the 2023 season. You're going to be like me, and you're going to say, wait a second. Did that Bobby Johnson news feel unnecessary? Did that feel unnecessary? And then you're going to read this tweet, and you're going to be like, wait a second. They fire Bobby Johnson because they're bringing in Brian Daboll. They're bringing in Brian Daboll. As much as it pains me to say this is going to happen. This is going to happen. Just when I thought we were going somewhere. The year after a 12-5 season, we fire our offensive coordinator, we fire our defensive coordinator, and we fire our offensive line coach by default because Brian Daboll is coming here. It sucks to be a Commanders fan. It sucks. If you want me to read that tweet again, you can comment that and I'll read it again. But I'm pretty sure you guys get the point. I'm upset right now. And I really didn't expect Kliff to be gone. but he's gone, and now we're going to be stuck with an old, fat Brian Daboll. Yeah, you guys are going to say it's a great day, because we moved on from Kliff. And I'm not mad again at that move. But if you're doing that to bring in Brian Daboll and you're not going to move the needle, what are you doing? I'm going to be sick to my stomach if Brian Daboll is the next offensive coordinator here. Sick. Dan Quinn has worked with Brian Daboll. Dan Quinn said earlier after the game on Sunday, they want a defensive coordinator with a lot of experience. So what do they want on the offensive side? Probably a guy with a lot of experience. And that all fits Brian Daboll. I guess I shouldn't be, so hard on Daboll, right? But I just don't think he'd be a good fit here. And again, I want Jaden to work with a Shanahan guy. I think Shanahan offense, Jaden is just an elite level player, elite level talent. But that is not going to happen. That is not going to happen. I just wish they would search around a little more. I wish we would get reports that they're interested in some other guys. But if they hire Brian Daboll and that's the only report that we get of the guy they want, then I'm gonna be pretty upset. But we gotta give Brian Daboll a chance. We gotta give him a chance. So we can't go out here and hate all that much, but man, that would suck. We have 21 people in here. Make sure you guys all smash the like button. For me, would really help me out. Make sure you guys smash that subscribe button if you're not subscribed. Make sure you send a super chat support. We're trying to get to 5 super chats today. So any super chats would be really appreciated. They keep this channel running, up and running. Make sure you guys smash the like button though and subscribe if you are not subscribed. Flood the comment section. Like, this is a big day for this football team. I am just very intrigued. I'm very intrigued. I'm very interested in why this happened, but let's make some hires, right? Let's make some hires. I wish we could just pivot and bring in a Clint Kubiak, right, to be the head coach, but one of those guys, but that's not going to happen. Let's make some hires here. Let's get a defensive coordinator. Let's get an offensive coordinator, and let's move on from there, and let's trust our GM. I just feel like Kliff deserved one more year. Just feel like Kliff deserved one more year. And again, maybe he wanted to leave because they met today and it was a mutual agreement, apparently. But this just does not sit well with me right now. Steve, I see your comment. I hope I'm wrong too. But if you just heard the tweet I read out from, and there's some new viewers in here, so let me just read this out again. Let me read this out again. Because this is very telling, this tweet from Scott Abraham. Let me just read this off again for those of you that have not heard. Something to monitor if Brian Daboll is a candidate to be the next offensive coordinator with the Commanders. Let's take you back a couple of years ago. Daboll fired now former Commanders offensive line coach Bobby Johnson, okay? And the Commanders fired Bobby Johnson today. So the Giants fired him at the end of the 2023 season. We fired him today. And then again, you're going to ask yourself, why was he fired? What did he do wrong? Nothing. He didn't do anything wrong. But it just feels like they're firing him for their next offensive coordinator. And that just doesn't sit well with me. Like, that seems like something else is going on. So I am just I'm very shocked right now. Shocked is an understatement for me, for a lot of fans right now. Just with all this news coming out. So there's your news for today, though. Bobby Johnson fired. Okay, so I also have a few other things to talk about. I know the main topic's going to be after this when I get to the comment section. Kliff Kingsbury, Joe Whitt Jr. But I screenshotted something yesterday off X. I was busy. I couldn't post about it. But the Commanders signed a bunch of players for next year. Let's go over those players real quick. So first one is Ricky Barber. They signed him back, undrafted free agent, got a sack versus the Cowboys. Happy they signed him back. Ja'Cory Brooks, happy about him. Trey Hawkins, young quarterback, happy about that. DJ Johnson, Jacoby Jones, TJ Mag, international player. Rob McDaniel, Tim McKay, Darius Rush, and Carlin Vigors. Excited to have those guys back. They did sign those guys back for next year. They will make their return. So, Rachaad White. Let's talk about Rachaad White a little bit. Just again, trying to get everything in this show. And then I'll get to the comment section. If you want to be the first comment read, super chats are the way to do that. They also really help out my channel. So that's how you're going to be the first comment read. Anyways, Rachaad White has been posting about Jaden Daniels and the Commanders a lot, and he recently just posted something yesterday, obviously, that he's done with the Bucs, but he quote tweeted a Commanders fans post about him coming to the Commanders on X. Pretty telling of where he wants to be. If Washington can meet him in the middle, we're going to have Rachaad White. That's what it seems like. So that is the news. So Kliff Kingsbury gone, Joe Whitt Jr. gone. This is going to be a long offseason. This is going to be an offseason that it's just going to be like I so skeptical. We're going to be so skeptical of these moves. Like unless they're going to bring in a Mike McDaniel, right? We are going to be so skeptical of these Commanders moves. Are they going to work out or are they not? Because again, if these moves don't work out this year, there's bigger changes to be made. And the bald-headed guy that took us to the NFC Championship last year, he's gone. So when I say these moves matter, these moves matter. Wouldn't have let Kliff go that early. But here we are, and they did. Wouldn't have let him go that early, though. But that's their decision. And I think we're all a little shocked right now. So, Kliff is gone. And we will see where this team goes from there. But now you're on the search for an offensive coordinator and a defensive coordinator. Now you have to find those. And it's going to be hard. Like there's not a lot of offensive minds out there. You know, there's not a lot of defense out there too. Like the main three are Jim Schwartz, Raheem Morris, and what's the other one? Jonathan Gannon. Those are the names that are out there. So when you look at it, man, it's not good. Would have kept Kliff here for Jaden's sake, but also I just don't think Kliff did anything wrong. And I know that's going to be a very unpopular opinion. So we got a bunch more viewers in here, 28 people in here. Let's try and get up to like 20 likes. So that means almost half of y'all click the like button. Make sure you guys smash that like button for me. Would really be appreciated. Make sure you guys smash that subscribe button for me if you're not subscribed. Make sure you do that on the road to 4K. Make sure you guys send a super chat support. We're trying to reach 5 super chats. They really help out the channel. Any amount is really appreciated. So we're trying to get to 5 super chats on this particular stream. Let's get to the comment section. I'm sure you guys have a lot to say. So if you want to jump immediately in front of the comment section, again, super chat's the way to do that. I'll start at the top. Did you say Bobby Johnson's also gone? Yes, they fired Bobby Johnson, the offensive line coach. So there's that. He's gone too. Again, that move felt just like a little bit pointless. Like, but again, now it's not pointless because we know why they did that. And it seems like it's because Brian Daboll fired him before. Jim Schwartz for defensive coordinator. I'm not mad with that. Like, if you want to bring him in and they said they want a guy with experience, if you want to bring him in, I'm not mad at that at all. I'm intrigued by that, but I'd rather probably have Gannon, but I'm not mad at that. Schwartz and Gannon to me are like right there. Now, Raheem, I'm a little bit shaky on him, but we just got to find a guy regardless, right? If we end up with neither of those guys, because we're not getting Al Harris. They said they want a guy with experience. I don't know who that would be. So Kliff is going to shorten JD5's career. Yeah, again, I don't necessarily think so. I don't agree with those comments. Like, and Jaden has to learn himself. Like, not everything is just Cliff's fault on the offensive side. Like, Jaden has to learn himself, to be able to protect himself. Like, he's got to learn that stuff himself sometime. And he will this offseason. He's dug in. But and I feel bad for Jaden. Like, I don't want him to lose his offensive coordinator. I hate it for him. I hate that he's upset. I hate that it had to go this way. Again, you see on this tweet, like they thought that he was just, if he wanted to be a head coach, he was gone. Like, Dan Quinn said, no, you're out. So I just find it pretty interesting. Kliff didn't keep JD5 in the field in the Seahawks game, though. That's true. That's true. And I just don't think Kliff would have hurt JD5's career. If anything, he's going to grow him. He got him to be the offensive rookie of the year last year. Again, what Kliff did last year was historic. And who was the guy saying it? Okay, so it was an announcer. It was an announcer. Yeah. So it was an announcer that in the game on Sunday, it was the guy beside Kevin Harlan in our game on Sunday. I'm blanking on his name. My bad, but you guys get the point. He was talking about Kliff Kingsbury like so positive, and he was like, if the Commanders move on from him, they're a little bit stupid. He named multiple reasons why as well. And he said, like, he was hinting like we, or not we, like they don't want to lose Kliff Kingsbury. He was hinting that. And he said they would be very stupid to let him go. He was hinting that as well. So we'll see. But it's just gonna be like I just don't know who else they're gonna get. I just don't know who else they're gonna get. I don't know who else is there. But I'll have to dive into that, right? This news just came out today. So Kliff Kingsbury leaving may be a blessing in disguise. He was not putting our younger guys on the field. He also had a lot of quarterback runs instead of having Jaden throw it. A new offense coordinator would develop JD in our youth. If it's the right offensive coordinator, they will. But again, and it may be a blessing in disguise. Like, I don't know, but um, it was hard for him this year, like, to get these guys in the field, right? It was hard. He didn't have his full offense the whole time. Like, it's just everything was off track this year. Nothing went according to plan this year. So it's really hard for us to speak on this topic, but we'll see if you're right. It was a lot of quarterback runs. Like, that was the one thing that I just couldn't figure out why he kept giving Jaden, quarterback runs. Like, I just didn't that didn't process with me. I didn't understand that. But that was like the thing that he's done wrong the first 2 years. So, I'm with you on McDaniel. Yeah, I think all of us are. I mean, again, if you picture, you know, Jaden in a Shanahan offense like that, that's scary. That's scary. So, yeah, I think all of us are all in on that. I think all of us are all in on McDaniel. But McDaniel has to be fired. And ultimately, he may not get fired. So, ultimately, he's probably not going to get fired. He didn't get fired on Black Monday. So, um so we'll see. I am looking at something here that's catching my eye from the Commanders. I'm looking at something that's catching my eye. I'll read this real quick to y'all. Just got off, and by the way, this is J Jones 9 on X, 70K followers, lead NFL insider on NFL on CBS. So he seems pretty reliable. Just got off the phone with one coaching agent who said the Commanders may get a better at offensive coordinator. That's how he worded it. A better at offensive coordinator. Don't know what that means. Then one of these teams, the vacancy, get at head coach. So a better offensive coordinator than what one of these teams that are going to get with a head coach. So if this is legit, this is good news for us. This is serious news for us. So that'll be interesting. But we'll see who they bring in. I think Washington has a succession plan already planned out, right? So they're looking at guys already. So um we don't like there's no reason for us to worry, but it is our football team. We love this team. It's our football team. So we are going to worry a little bit naturally. But there's a plan in place. Like just by that tweet, there's a solid plan in place. So if we get another offense coordinator who develops AP's drafts and helps JD5 throw instead of always running, that'll be great. We will be able to have our franchise guy for years. Yeah, I mean, we need someone that can do that for him. And I don't think Kliff again, I don't think Kliff was um I don't think Kliff was not necessarily did anything wrong with that. Um I don't think he necessarily did anything wrong there. But um we'll see. We'll see how they get. And hopefully that guy is the guy to be here for the next 5 or so years, is the guy to win a Super Bowl with us and eventually become, if he wasn't already a head coach, eventually become a head coach one day because he thrives with the Commanders in our offense. And that's what the hope is when you get, a new offensive coordinator. Find a guy that, that has had success in the league, is working their way up, and then you work with them for about 5 years, 4 or 5 years, depends on their success, and you win a Super Bowl with them. And then they go on their own and they find their way through the league. So that's how it's going to work. And hopefully the Commanders can make that happen. By the way, guys, 28 people in here, 20 likes in the stream. Make sure some of you hit the like button if you have not done so. Please smash the like button for me. Would really be appreciated. Please smash the subscribe button for me as well. Trying to reach 4K subscribers. Commanders content every single day on this channel. Would really appreciate it if y'all would subscribe if you are not subscribed already. And then again, 5 super chats is the goal. So we're trying to reach 5 super chats on this stream. So any super chats are greatly appreciated. Thank you guys for joining me on this Tuesday afternoon. Continue to flood the comment section. I want to hear your thoughts on this, and I'll continue going through the comments. So, I hope we can find a guy like that. So, he also wouldn't put the quarterback under center to open up the play action. I think he really only did it with Josh Johnson. That's true. That's true. You're not wrong about that. So put the quarterback under center now. I saw Grant Paulson talk about this. It was before the Vikings game. The Vikings game, whenever Jaden was under center, like it worked. Like it worked. It seemed like it worked every time. Under center was just the best option that day. I was definitely disappointed with the lack of plays that were under the center this year. So, yeah, you're not wrong. Somebody suggested Jason Garrett as offensive coordinator. Can you believe that? That's disgusting to me. You don't just get guys off the street that haven't been in the game for a while. I want a guy that's fresh, that is straight off this game, right? And that has not sat out for a while. Like I want that type of guy that knows how to call a modern day offense and call plays. Shoot, I'd love it if Stefanski couldn't find a job. We hired him, but he's going to get a head coaching job. Shoot, I'd love it if McDaniel would get fired, but he's probably not going to get fired. So you put yourself in a hole here. You're already in a hole unless you have a succession plan, which it's hard to imagine they don't. Again, we have to trust them, but you put yourself in a hole. You now have to find a defensive coordinator and offensive coordinator at some point. And I just don't know how exactly that's going to work. We can find a defensive coordinator. We can find an offensive coordinator, but it's going to be hard. It's going to be hard. And I'm just questioning what they're doing. I would have given Kliff an extra year. I just don't see what Kliff necessarily did wrong this year. And again, if it was his decision to mutually part ways, all right, I get that. But bro, if you just fired him off nothing, he wanted to be here next year, like, and he's probably going to take Mariota with him wherever he goes. He's going to take guys with him. It just doesn't make any sense to me, really. The disconnect in the building, fix it. If you really care enough, fix it. But apparently they don't care enough. And so Kliff Kingsbury's out. And that's just again, it's still shocking for me to just believe this. But I guess I shouldn't be that mad if it's Dayball. We got to look at single uh every single thing the Commanders may do. So, what's up, my boy Carter? Also, I knew this would happen. What's going on, Bubba? How you doing, man? Appreciate you for joining up today. Yeah, I mean, I think, you know, I'm shocked. I knew this could happen, right? Because I knew the Kliff news, but I'm just shocked. Like, I didn't expect it. I didn't expect it. So, yeah, I'm just a little bit shocked from that. But I understand what you mean. I mean, a lot of people saw this coming. So, Diana Rossini was right. Don't don't discount her either. Don't discount her either. She was right. She was on this. So there was a disconnect. There was a problem. So that's interesting. Quinn made these hires. His seat is hot too. That's exactly what I said. That's exactly what I said. The first 2 years, both offensive coordinator and defensive coordinator are gone in the first 2 years. I said that's exactly what I said. And if the wrong decisions are made this offseason, you know what's going to happen? There's going to be bigger changes made. What are those changes going to be? I'm sure you can guess. That's going to be old bald-headed DQ out. It'll be hot if this backfires, that's for sure. So will AP's. I agree. I don't think AP is running these moves so much, but it'll be hot. Like, that's basically what I just said. If you can't cash out on these next defensive coordinators, offensive coordinators that you're going to get, defensive coordinator, offensive coordinator that you're going to get, if you can't cash out here and you already lost your first two in the first 2 seasons, then we have problems. And again, there's going to be bigger moves made if that's going to be the case. You don't know how to pick talent, you're out. So there has to be a plan here, and there is a plan here, but y'all got to watch out, man. Y'all got to watch out. Would have given Kliff another year. I'm so very happy that they fired Joe Whitt Jr., though. I'll say that. But I would have given Kliff one more year. And I've already told you the reasons why. By the way, guys, make sure you click the like button for your boy. It would really help me out. Make sure you guys subscribe to this channel. If there's any... So there's 32 people in here. If any of y'all are not subscribed, make sure you please click the subscribe button on the road to 4K. Would really be appreciated. Doesn't go unnoticed. Again, 5 super chats is the goal for this stream. So if anybody could send a super chat, that'd be greatly appreciated and kick off this super chat goal. That would be appreciated. Also, jump to the front of the line of the comment section if you do send a super chat. So really appreciate y'all for joining up this afternoon. Let's see. Happy times. Yeah, again, for some people, this is happy times. Again, this is happy times for me with Joe Whitt Jr., not necessarily Kliff Kingsbury. And again, what happened with Jaden, apparently not being too excited about that. That doesn't make me real happy, but again, they have a plan. We'll see their plan. Their plan better not backfire. Mike McDaniel isn't going anywhere. They are letting him have input on their GM search. Yeah, again, that's what I said. I just said, please fire your head coach, Miami Dolphins. That's all I said. That's all I said. So I'm not trying to say they're going to fire him. I'm not trying to wish that on the Dolphins, but like, man, if he gets fired, bring him. Again, I already told you what Jaden would look like in a Shanahan offense. That's just another level. So if you could bring McDaniel in, man, and he's young too, like he just has all of these traits that are special in this league these days. And he knows, like, again, I want a guy that knows how to call a modern day offense. And I just, I think he really can. I think he can really scheme it up. So didn't do half bad with the Dolphins this year for what, he had. They really got hot at the end of the year. So, but again, I'm getting myself down a tangent for no reason. He's probably not going to get fired. The GM he helps find might not like McDaniel though, and again, he could be fired after that. So that's true, but um, if they bring in a whole new GM and McDaniel's still there, like, and McDaniel's in the GM search, like, I just don't see any changes being made after that. But again, we'll see. We'll see. Both had to go. Again, I don't think Kliff had to go. I think that was a little bit unnecessary. I don't think Kliff had to go. That's just my opinion. Obviously, Whitt had to be shipped to China, right? That was completely unforgivable what he did this year. And I think last year it was covered up. Last year was covered up what Joe Whitt Jr. did because we had a stud quarterback at Jaden Daniels. But now that you don't have that stud quarterback out there every game, now that you don't have that, like, hopefully we can get that back next year. You have to factor in Kliff was still interviewing for head coach position, so it wasn't a guarantee he was staying anyway. That's true. They had to get ahead of it. That's very true. They did have to get ahead of it. That is very true. He was looking at head coaching opportunities before, but I mean, I think if there was nothing, like, he's not just going to go be the offensive coordinator of somewhere else. And so the only thing that would open up is a head coaching job. And I just don't think anybody would hire him right now. Because again, you see how our fans are reacting with him. Like, another team's not going to want him after the year we had. So I just didn't think he would get an offer. I didn't think he would get an offer to be a head coach of a football team. But you're right. They had to be ahead of it. They had to have a succession plan. Now that they fired him, they have a plan. So I guess we got to trust that plan as much as it feels a little bit shaky right now. And again, especially with the Bobby Johnson firing, that just seems like it's Brian Daboll time. But who am I to say that? Who am I to say that? Let's see. I feel as if Kliff didn't utilize his weapons as he should have when he had them. Also, this is my opinion. And also, Kliff is getting head coach options. He didn't have weapons. He didn't have them all summer. After week 2, he didn't have them. So, he didn't have weapons. When he did have weapons, our quarterback wasn't out there. He never had weapons. He never did. So, if the Dolphins fire Mike McDaniels, he will be the next offensive coordinator for the Commanders. Yeah. Again, I think Dan and McDaniel would love to meet each other right down the middle. I think they would both love to work together if that would happen. But again, that's probably not going to happen. But yes, that is definitely probably what would happen. I mean, you remember the stories of McDaniel and DQ, right? DQ was such a mentor to McDaniel and was such a big part of his life that it'd almost be hard for McDaniel to say no unless there's another head coaching job there. So I think those two would have met each other in the middle, but that's probably not going to happen. Our hope was for McDaniel to get fired on Black Monday. So we'll see what they do. They could bring in another Shanahan guy. They could bring in a Shanahan guy who we don't even know about, ends up being a star. What I'm trying to say is they have a plan and they know what their plan is. They know what they're going to try to do. So I'm excited to see their move. I am. I'm excited to see their move. We'll see what they got. If it's somebody in the building, I'm going to be very upset. So we'll see. By the way, guys, make sure you subscribe to this channel. If any 40 of you in here right now are not subscribed, please go ahead and subscribe or consider clicking that subscribe button. Trying to reach 4,000 subscribers, trying to really push this channel out this year in 2026. Really appreciate y'all. For all you everydayers who come through every day, want to get that out to y'all, especially Steve. My guy Steve comes through every single day. Really appreciate him. And again, the super chat goal is 5 super chats for the day. So we're trying to get up to 5 super chats. So any super chats are greatly appreciated. Quinn leaving Daniels in that game was malpractice. That was. Should be canned for that alone. I can't say no. I can't deny that because I'm not going to back down for what I said that night. And yes, we were emotionally torn apart. We were emotionally torn apart that night. But what I said that night was I put in my title, fire Dan Quinn, because that move would just felt unforgivable. So we'll see. We'll see if he may get fired next year, but he's sticking this year. So they didn't think it was a fireable offense. The the turkey neck strikes again. DQ should be gone instead of Kliff. To be honest, JD5 needs an offensive minded head coach in my opinion, and now the clock is really ticking on DQ. He won't be here by 2030, mark my words. That feels accurate. I don't know if he'll be here by then either. We'd have to go on a pretty crazy run over the next few years for that to happen. So you're not, you might not be wrong on that. Again, Kliff feels a little bit unnecessary, like more unnecessary than DQ. If DQ would have been gone, we wouldn't have been as shocked. But Kliff, I just don't see what he did. And again, what circumstances was he under? Look at the circumstances Kliff was under. Never got his full offense. Never had his deep threats, Terry or Noah. When he did have them, the quarterback was out. What are you supposed to do as an offensive coordinator? It just feels unnecessary to me. Wow, that makes sense. Dayball with Johnson out. That Scott Abraham tweet, that sucker makes sense. That sucker makes sense. And that's scary. But that makes sense. As much as I hate to say it, right? That makes sense to me. So it's a good day, people. You love the positivity, right? But it's not a good day for Kliff. It's not a good day for Joe Whitt Jr. Sucks for them. But for us as fans, off season really has truly begun. We're getting down and dirty. And I got to keep checking Twitter because this has been such a day for me where, like, earlier this morning, I was just checking Twitter all day after I saw this move and stuff. So this is an eventful day for this team. This is very eventful. So we'll see. They could ultimately bring up an offensive coordinator from college too. I just saw that on X. They could bring up a guy from college. So I knew Kliff was going this season when he turned down head coach offers last year, and with this season was just bad luck, and those head coach offers may stat to lose traction, and he has to capitalize. I'm surprised teams want to hire him as their next head coach. I really am. The Titans, I guess it makes sense because you look at what he did with Kyler Murray. You look at what he did with Jaden Daniels. Like, Kliff has worked magic on those guys, right? At least their first few years, right? This year was definitely a down year for both quarterbacks. But you look at what he did with those guys just coming in. He's very smart. Like, I just feel like he was a luxury to have here, honestly. We get Brian, I'm going to lose it. Yeah, I'm gonna try to make myself want this more and be excited for this, but yeah, I think if we get Brian, I think a lot of fans are gonna lose it. I just don't. We don't want to see that. We don't want to see Brian Daboll here as the offensive coordinator. I think we've seen enough, right? I wouldn't mind Daboll. Yeah, and I understand that. Like, he's a brilliant offensive mind. He's been around the league a while, but I'm just not, in my opinion, I'm just not good on him, really. But certain people are going to be, happy with him. He has a lot of experience, so that's not going to happen. Again, there's so many. First off, we've already been linked to him by national sites, by sites that are very reliable. So you can't really deny it. And then second, that tweet from Scott Abraham just tells you something. That tells you something. This DQ last year let him F himself, and they were fooled by our success. Well, I'm going to take this offseason lightly. We're not going to We just need a few more pieces to get this Super Bowl. I'm going to take this offseason lightly. We're going to take kind of an offseason off a little bit. We can rest, right? We don't need this offseason. And you do that, and this is what happens. So thank God they're both gone. And again, some people may feel that way. I'm definitely happy that Joe Witt Jr. is gone. But I'm kind of neutral on Kliff. Not happy, not sad. I'm just kind of neutral with that decision. So that's where I'm at. But you may be fine with it. So he's friends with Morris. Yeah, DQ is. I know that. I could see that being the move. So yeah, definitely looking like Raheem Morris right now. DQ has to hit, or he gonna be next. He's going next year. Yeah, that's what I said. These decisions this year are they decide DQ's future because you already lost your first two coordinators in your first two seasons. So Dayball and Wink for the crash outs. Yeah, I'm good. I know you're joking. I know you're trolling, but yeah, I'm good on that, man. And I've seen both those guys come up. I'm good. Raheem Morris, I respect it. Respect it. Boy, I hope you're wrong about Dayball. It will absolutely suck. That's that stuff though. That stuff. Those Scott Abraham tweets, like there's not much denying there. There's not much denying there. So do you think if Vance Joseph and Davis Webb leave Denver, they hire Kliff Kingsbury as Denver's quarterbacks coach? Oh, heck yeah. They could do quarterback coach, but Kliff's not going to want to be a quarterback coach. He's going to want to be a head coach or offensive coordinator. So, yeah, I could see that, but ultimately he's not going to go that low on the offensive part of the team. So, it's not just the Broncos. Sure, I'd love to work with Bo Nix, though. Who wouldn't? Kliff's going to be the head coach for the Titans. He didn't want to stay. Yeah, and again, maybe he didn't want to stay, but I just feel like, and that's a good fit for the Titans. I just feel like I don't know if Kliff exactly was hunting for a head coaching job. I think he would have just stayed another year. Do not give Jaden to the guy that would have passed him up. Yeah, I think that's Brian Daboll. I think I saw the Hard Knocks thing. So yeah, I think he was the guy that was going to pass him up. Am I right? I think I heard something about that. So let's see. 11 futures. Yeah, let me know if y'all can hear me, by the way. Let me know if y'all can hear me. Let me know if y'all can hear me in the chat real quick. Just real fast. Type yes if you can hear me. I want to make sure my audio's is good. Okay. Thank you. Thank you, Chuck. Oh, by the way, it's been a long time, Chuck. You changed profile picture. How you doing, man? I'll get to your comments in a few minutes. If you want to get your comment read right away, super chat's the way to do that. You know that, of course. And they really help out the channel. That goes for everybody in here. We're trying to get to 5 super chats today. Make sure you guys smash the like button, smash that subscribe button. If you are not subscribed, that would be really appreciated. This will be our best off season yet, I hope, but I I can't say anything. Again, this could be the worst off season ever. You hire the wrong defensive coordinator, you hire the wrong offensive coordinator. They suck in their first year, but then DQ is gone next year. Because again, this is the prove it year for DQ. Not necessarily prove it, but show something type year. So we can't do much with 5 draft picks, so we have to go all out in free agency. And that's true. They're gonna have to spend money. They're gonna have to be aggressive. They're gonna have to stop shopping at Five Below for free agents. So yeah, I agree. And ultimately they will. They'll be They'll be aggressive. So we'll see what like how aggressive they are, but they'll be aggressive. Don't forget they have to pay Tunsil. They have to pay certain guys, but uh we'll see. The Commanders need to go after Brees Hall. I've seen this opinion everywhere. So yeah, we'll see. But I don't think they're gonna spend that kind of money on a back. We'll see though. He'd be the lead dog. He'd be a great guy to have here. I just don't know if that's gonna happen. If you see something not going right, fix it. I watched this team not fix things for years. I agree, right? You think the offense, I mean, I love that they're being aggressive. I love that they're being aggressive. I love that. But were these the right moves? Obviously, the Joe Whitt Jr. thing, yes, that was the right move. And it was not going right. So you got to fire him. I love that move. But was it right to fire Kliff? I just don't know. I just don't know. We need to bring C-Rod back. Yeah, I've seen people say that a lot. I mean, I don't know. It's McNichols or C-Rod. Pick your choice. I'm not gonna bring both back. So yeah, pick your back. That's my opinion on it. It's kind of how I think it should go. All right. Sorry about that. This is a full rebuild. The Commander's not going to be good for another 2 years. I feel like having a stud quarterback helps, but we got to have the right guy for the quarterback. So you might be right. Ultimately, it looks like we're not going to be good for the next 2 years. You're not going to get every hole filled. Pause. You're not going to fill every hole. All right. This offseason. You're just not. There's too many holes. We set ourselves back about 5 years. We set ourselves back about 5 years by what we did this offseason. Well, what Adam Peters did. Going after all those old guys. Set ourselves back about 5 years. Kliff Kingsbury did not want to return for another year. He wants to be a head coach, and that's understandable. And if he wanted to, you're not going to hold him down. It's not a lateral move. He's moving up in the ranks if he's being a head coach. So you got to let him do that. So if that's the case, then that's fine. Right? That's how it works. Should have, but it didn't feel like he could have been a head coach, though, because he wasn't as good this year. Like it felt like he could just stay another year. Should have stayed the course and kept all of our draft picks fool's gold. Yeah, Adam Peters said this in his press conference yesterday. By the way, I never covered that. We can talk about that a little bit later. That's what Adam Peters said. Like, I would do that Laramie Tunsil trade over again. So that trade really worked out. The Debo one, you gave him a fifth, whatever. The Marshawn Lattimore one, anybody would have done that at the time. So that was smart. But yeah, that's my take on it. We're going to year 3 of the rebuild. We have to start making improvements. What were you replying to? Oh, the rebuild one. Yeah. Yeah, and they're going to make improvements, right? They're going to make improvements. Besides Jaden Daniels, besides Jaden Daniels, that's the only thing. Like, we have a quarterback, guys. This is the first time in a while we've sucked, but we have a quarterback, right? We have our guy for the future. So, love to have Rachaad White. Yeah, I'd love to have Rachaad White too. I'm not going to tweak over him or crash out about him, whether he comes here or not. He wants to be here, though, but he's young. He's been good with the Bucks. So, yeah, I would love to have Rachaad White as well. Don't see any problem with him coming here. I think he'd be a good addition to this running back room. So, yeah, if they brought him in, I wouldn't be mad at all. That's fine with me. Need to hire a draft expert. Quinn and AP have no idea what they're doing. Again, I wouldn't say that yet, but like it's if this draft is bad, because again, you missed on 3 straight second round picks. You missed on 3 straight second round picks. I want to let y'all know that, and y'all know that too. Mikey, Ben, and then uh, Brandon Coleman. Or sorry, not Brandon Coleman, Johnny Newton. So I'm not going to give up on either of those guys yet, but like it'd be nice to have real confidence in your staff. And I can't have that yet. They have to prove something to me. Kliff ran the same plays week in and week out. And some weeks he did, right? Again, I'm not saying he was completely flawless. I'm not saying that. I'm saying like he was not terrible. He wasn't that this season they had was not a fireable offense. It was not a fireable offense. He didn't deserve to be fired from this, and he didn't have his full offense most of the time. So, Kliff the pistol shotgun god. Yeah, you're not wrong about that. This is more than we're being told. Yeah, I mean, I'm putting all the news about this out. We're being told a lot today. Today's been crazy. Today's been crazy. Like, this is insane. So, Kliff is going to the Las Vegas Raiders, and he's taking Kyler Murray with him, and they're going to draft Mendoza. So why would he go to the Raiders and then draft Mendoza? Like, why would he take Murray and then draft Mendoza? That doesn't make sense. So, don't know what you're saying there. The guys who brought in JD5 and Bill, who was a 7th rounder, don't know what they're doing. Sure. Yeah. I mean, that's a point. They got Bill for a steal. JD5 was obviously probably the easy pick at the time, but we'll see how they turn out, right? Hey, what do you think about the 3 coaches that got fired today? The offensive coordinator, defensive coordinator, and O-line coach. Again, I already gave my opinions, but I can quickly go through what I was saying. Kliff, I think he deserved another year. Don't think he did anything entirely wrong this year. And apparently Jaden Daniels is a little bit frustrated by this. So I'm not happy about this move, but I'm also not, mad about this move. Or like I'm not mad or sad, but I'm just kind of mid. I'm neutral on this move. I'm not happy about this move though. The defensive coordinator move, I'm fine with that, right? Joe Whitt Jr. fired. That had to be done. That had to be done. So offensive line coach, there was nothing there that he did that was fireable, like that they should have fired him for. But they have a plan, and if you know, Brian Daboll. So that's why he was fired. And it seemed unnecessary. But that's why. McDaniel staying in Miami is helping with the search for their new GM. Did I already read that? I don't know if I already read that, but yeah. Like if that's the case, if that's what you heard, like, yeah, I think that's pretty self-explanatory, right? What if the new Miami GM doesn't want McDaniel as the head coach for 2026? Anything can happen. Did I already read these two? I don't know. I already addressed these. So let me just skip to the next one. If it wasn't JD5, it was May. Hard to F that up. More misses than hits in the 2 drafts. Sorry, my dogs are going a little bit wild down there. If it wasn't JD5, it was May. Hard to F that up. More misses than hits in 2 drafts. Again, I think JD5 is better than May right now. So I think JD5 healthy is better than May. Maybe I'm crazy for that take, but recency bias is just crazy. I mean, remember what y'all were saying last year? Like, y'all were calling Jaden Daniels the king, the greatest rookie quarterback of ever of all time, saying he's a top 5 quarterback. Like, recency bias is insane for Drake May. So, we building a new stadium, Super Bowl for sure coming. I'd love to think that, and I'm tired. And I was looking at the schedule. So, if you guys don't know, obviously we're like 1.5 years in this channel. So most of you don't know. I go to the week 1 game every year, sometimes more, but I go to the week 1 game every Commanders season. So unless it's an away game, I'll say that. I go to but it's normally a home game. Every year it's normally a home game. So I go to the week 1 game every year for this Commanders team. And I'm tired of sitting in that stadium. This should be the last thing we're talking about right now. But yes, thank you for reminding us. Guys, we have a new stadium coming in 2030. If we can't get excited about anything else, let's get excited about that, I guess. Let's see here. Just like the Redskins won an NFL title when they moved into DC Stadium. Yeah. And you'd like to think by that time the rebuild would be done. We have Jaden still, probably a new head coach, but that by that time, like, we're locked in and we're ready to go. And we should have all the pieces we need. And hopefully before that. Hopefully before that, right? This gotta be the stupidest thing I've ever heard. Um, yeah, some people kind of agree with what my take is. I think Kliff should have been here another year. Shoot, I was texting my dad earlier, huge Redskins fan. Um, I just texted him like this is stupid, you know? And now, like, again, what really pissed me off was that there was reports that Jaden was mad and that players, like, look, that players on the team figured the only way Kingsbury would be going is if he got a head coach job. Like, it doesn't sit well. I just don't know. I don't know. I don't know. I don't know. Why would we fire a good offensive coordinator despite him not doing anything wrong? Again, I don't see anything that he did majorly wrong. Yes, he called the wrong plays. Yes, there was games that were bad. But I mean, come on, look at who he's working with. Again, when he didn't have his top wide receivers, he had his quarterback. When he didn't have his quarterback, he had his top wide receivers. Like, it in some games he had none. But it was so tough for him this year. You know how hard it is? You know how hard it is to work with that offense that he had? Like, that's some crazy stuff. That's some crazy stuff that he was working with this year. What we don't know is if Kliff wanted out to be a head coach. We'll know soon, I'm sure. Yes, Steve, we will know soon. Yeah. You are correct about that. We will know soon. But and if he does get a head coach job, then we can't even be mad. If he gets a head coach job, we can't be mad. We can't be mad. There's no reason to be mad because that's the reason he left. But if he just, is goes somewhere else and dilly dally, like, we'll be a little bit upset. So I'll definitely pick up Rashad Whitt. I don't know about Brandon Ayuk. No, not Brandon Ayuk. Not Brandon Ayuk. Please, guys, please be with me on this too. No, not Brandon Ayuk. Not in my day. No. I do not want to think about Brandon Ayuk. Do not want to. First off, his knee is shredded and too many injuries. But second off, the dude posts himself speeding around a stadium. He's a nutcase. He has no common sense, and he's just an idiot. I'm good on Ayuk. Rashad Whitt, I'll bring him in. He's younger. He's gotten 1,000 yards before, especially before Bucky was there. He was the bell cow for them. Love to bring Rashad in. White's healthy. Ayuk, who knows? White, I'm good with White. Ayuk, I'm out. I'm out all day. You don't know his health status. You haven't watched him play for a while. And this just feels like it's too high of a risk. And he's going to want money too. I'm good. Just because he wants to be here doesn't mean he has to be here. So this is going to be a big problem for this offense. Unless we find the right guy. Maybe we'll find the right guy. Maybe this search will be pretty easy. We'll find the right guy for the job. Ultimately, that may be, what takes place, what happens. But we'll see. We'll see. I love receiving running backs. Rashad Whitt fit the bill. Yeah, he is. That is probably one of his biggest. That's his biggest strength is getting it out of the backfield, catching it out of the backfield. Like, it's just really, he's gotten so good at that. But he can also run really well as well. So yeah, he brings a unique skill set that I love. So I'd love to have Rashad Whitt. By the way, guys, make sure you smash the like button. Everybody in here, make sure you click the like button for your boy. Make sure you subscribe for your boy. Make sure you get me to 4K subscribers. I need all of y'all to do that good stuff. Like, again, it doesn't go unnoticed. It really helps out the channel. Make sure you guys send a super chat as well. Super chats definitely don't go unnoticed. And we are trying to get 5 super chats today. So any super chats are greatly appreciated. And they definitely keep the channel healthy, and they definitely keep this channel running, and they definitely help out these live streams. So I'm surprised about Bobby getting fired. Again, you say that to yourself, and then you read Scott Abraham's tweet, and it just feels like there's a plan in place, and that plan is obviously to bring in Brian Daboll, because Brian Daboll fired him in 2023. Because what did Bobby Johnson do wrong? Nothing. Nothing. If anything, the offensive line was one of the best parts about this team. Ayuk is a cancer. We don't need him. Yeah, we don't need him. I've been saying this for probably the past 4 weeks, I would say. At first, I was not too. I wasn't mad if we were to bring him in, but yeah, now I'm good. Think I'm going to lay off the Ayuk stuff. Kliff can get stale throughout the season. He can. That's an accurate statement. Yes, that's for sure an accurate statement. By the way, I just saw the comment. Anthony, what's going on, my guy Anthony? How about them birds, man? I mean this in the most respectful way. I hope y'all get eliminated first round in a respectful way. Appreciate you for joining up, Anthony. Good to see you again. Let's see. Where are we at in this comment section? There we are. Yeah, Kliff can get stale throughout the season. Yeah, he definitely can. There's nothing wrong about that. He's definitely can. And that's where he has to, like, I just remember last year him getting stale. He has to pull, stuff out of his bag of tricks, and he will. Things are going to be different next year for sure. Quinn is going to be on the hot seat next year. Yeah, he's going to be on the hot seat. And that's what happens when, when you have a season like this. Everything's evaluated. And so he's definitely being evaluated. He's definitely on the hot seat. So as he should be. A backfield with Whitt, C-Rod, and Bill is mouth-watering. C-Rod is just so good. Like, again, though, out of that group, who's going to be the guy that blocks? C-Rod can block. Bill's working on his blocking. Whitt can't really block. So who's going to be the guy that blocks there? I'm just not exactly sure who that guy's going to be. So make sure you guys click the like button as well. Make sure you guys subscribe to the channel if you're not subscribed. Make sure you guys send us super chat support. Super chats keep this channel running, to keep this channel healthy. We're trying to get to, let's try and get to like 2 super chats today on this channel. Any super chats are greatly appreciated. Let's get to the next comment here. Part of the problem with Kingsbury is defenses catch up to what he's doing offensively. Yeah, that's for sure. That's for sure. That kind of goes back to like him being stale. Like he kind of keeps the same tricks in his bag, if that makes sense. He doesn't really. He's basic sometimes. So I get what you're saying. Kliff is going to be the head coach of the Las Vegas Raiders. Write it down. I will, and I'll support him. In that role, but I don't know if that's going to happen ultimately. I think putting yourself in that situation comes with a lot of risk. That comes with a risk. You look at the past 5 years, nobody's survived as the Raiders head coach. So you put yourself at risk. And I just, is he willing to do that? I don't know. This plan is horrible. We might have not had a good year, but firing a good offensive coordinator that helped Jaden Daniels make it to the NFC Championship. Again, he really helped Jaden Daniels, and he really, in my opinion, didn't do anything wrong this year. So, I'm with you. I'm not as I'm not going to exaggerate as much as you on needing Kliff Kingsbury and stuff, but like, I get what you're saying, and I feel the same way. I feel like Kliff deserved another year. But again, you have to look at this comments like this. Like, teams are requesting head coaching jobs. If he thinks he can go out there and land one, that's obviously better than being an offensive coordinator. So he wants to be a head coach. Anybody wants to be a head coach. So that would be the best backfield in the league. Yeah, he was replying to the Rachaad White, C-Rod, and Bill. That would be a very good running back room. Another problem with Kingsbury is the quarterback is never taking snaps under center. Yeah, somebody mentioned that earlier. And I get y'all with that, man. It seems like we're a lot better when we're playing under center this year. So like I hear you. I hear you for sure. All shotgun and pistol made me cry all season. There was a lot of that, but that's what I mean. Like he can get basic, right? He can get basic. He can just be basic at times. So like we'll see what ultimately transpires with Kliff and how he continues to do in this league. But he was basic with us, and he's got to step up his game a little bit. So Jaden masked a ton of bad crap that we saw this season. And I've said it before, he was so good. He fooled all of us. Worst of all, he fooled AP and DQ, and we ran it back with the old, slow players. That's what I said is like, again, Jaden fooled everyone. Jaden fooled everyone. He fooled our own general manager. Believing we were a few moves away from the Super Bowl was the worst thing ever because it set us back like at least 5 years. So, yeah, this sucks. This sucks, but we got to find our way. We got to find our way, and we do still have Jaden. We do still have a quarterback, so that's what gives me hope. No more Kliff, Wagner, and Ertz. Thank you, God. Yeah, I'm not going to rule out Wagner for you. Am I saying I want Wagner Ertz? Hell no, I don't. Wagner, though, they love him. And they think he's a really good leader. And he is a really good leader. But they love him. So don't rule him out. If I was the Commanders, would I bring him back? No. But they might bring him back. So I wouldn't rule that out. Stop making excuses for Kliff. San Francisco did it. I'm not making excuses for Kliff, man. I'm not. These are straight hard facts. And if you don't understand the truth, like if you don't know the truth, if you don't understand the truth, then I'm sorry. Because that's the truth. That's the truth. I gave you straight hard facts about Kliff Kingsbury. That's all I was giving you. How do we feel about Luke Getsy? Not a great offensive coordinator, but great with quarterbacks. So definitely recognize the name. Definitely recognize the name. And let me see. So you guys could probably hear me typing. Trying to figure out who Luke Getsy is. No, obviously a coach, but assistant for the Green Bay Packers right now. After having been the offensive coordinator for the Chicago Bears. I can't say I'm good on him, but yeah, I'm not gonna say I'm good on him, but it doesn't look too appealing to me just based off what he's been through in the league, getting fired as an offensive coordinator in 2023. But we'll see. That's an interesting name. I haven't heard that name in a while, actually. DQ and Kliff wasn't seeing eye to eye with some play calls. Yeah, I don't know if it's necessarily play calls, but it is play calls some, but I don't know if it's all necessarily play calls. We got a bunch of new viewers in here. Make sure you guys smash that like button for me. We have 38 people in here, so I'd love to be able to get up to 40 likes. Make sure everybody clicks the like button. Thank you guys for joining me. Everybody in here, make sure you are subscribed. If you are not, make sure you go ahead and click that subscribe button. Would really be appreciated. Doesn't go unnoticed, and it really helps me out a lot. By the way, make sure you send a super chat support. We're trying to get to 5 super chats on this stream. Really, if we can get 1 on this stream, that would be really appreciated. So if someone could send a super chat, that'd be really, really appreciated. They keep the channel healthy, keep the channel moving a lot. So there's that. Kliff should go to Ole Miss for head coach job, that young quarterback. Trinidad Chambliss, yeah. I mean, that's not like that's ultimately that's his decision if he wants to go back down to college. But and maybe he ultimately does after going out of the NFL again. But I think that he's looking for a head coaching job. Like I think he's looking um for a head coaching job, and I think he's looking for a gig in the league that is bigger than what he has now. I don't think he wants to go back down to college, then work your way back up with another NFL team. I just don't think he wants to do that. So you're kind of setting yourself back. It's not going to happen. What's not going to happen? What's not going to happen? Anthony Perry, thank you for the super chat. Greatly appreciate you for the super chat. Really appreciate you for your support. Thank you for the $20 super chat. Again, really appreciate you, bro. Thank you for your support. Thank you for your generosity to this channel. Y'all hit the super chat. He writes, yes, sir. Appreciate you with the first super chat of the day. I believe it's, if I'm counting this right, I believe it's the 7th super chat of this year. I'm going to try to keep track of most of the super chats we get on this channel this whole year. I believe this is the 7th super chat of the year. So appreciate you, Anthony, for the super chat. Really, really do appreciate you. You definitely just helped out this channel so much. Let's see here. And I gotta find back where I was at. I really don't know what they're waiting for. Dan Quinn should be let go. He's horrible. We got another super chat here. The Dubs family, really appreciate you for your $5 super chat. Greatly appreciate y'all for these super chats, man. Thank you for your support. You guys don't even know what this does for the channel. You guys don't even know how much these help the channel and how much these just help out these live streams. So really appreciate you, the Dubs family. Hey, it's good to see you, man, too. I will say that. It's good to see you back on the channel. Hopefully I can have a fun off season with all of y'all in here right now. It's going to be a fun off season, man. And today's just the start of all the things, that we're set to do this off season, that we're prepared to do this off season. So it should be a fun off season. No problem, bro. Really appreciate you, man. Really appreciate you. Keep grinding. I will definitely keep grinding. Thank you. Your support really makes me keep grinding. So appreciate you, the Dubs family, as always. Brian Daboll for offensive coordinator. He has 4 years of experience as a play caller in Buffalo. You're not wrong. He does have that experience. He's very experienced around the National Football League, but ultimately, I feel like we need someone younger. We need someone younger. We need someone more. We need someone more shaped up for this type of job. I don't feel like Brian Daboll's necessarily shaped for this job here in Washington, at least. That's just my opinion. Good happy New Year's to you. Hey, happy New Year's to you as well. Hopefully it's a great year for this football team. We're starting this year off with a bang in these firings. Steve Hatfield. Man, one super chat just gets things going, man. Am I right? Thank you, Anthony. Really appreciate you. Thank you, the Dubs family. Really appreciate you. Thank you, Steve Hatfield. Really appreciate you. I shouted you out earlier, so I don't need to say much here, but you show up to every single live stream, and I really, really appreciate you. Much love for you, Steve. Thank you for your support. Sending a super chat every single stream. Really appreciate you, Steve, for all your support, man. Thank you so much for all the super chats, man. We now have 3 out of 5 supers on the day. Let's see if I can get back to where I was at. And there's the 4th super chat. So one super chat just gets things going, man. I really can't thank y'all enough. Like, I really can't thank y'all enough for all this support. Seriously. Really can't thank y'all enough for this. This means so much to me. Astro, my guy Astro. It's been a while. It's been a while. Really appreciate you for the $5 super chat. Thank you for getting us to our 4th out of 5th super chat of the day. Thank you for your super chat, your generosity. Hopefully I see you a lot this offseason. He writes, what's up? Haven't been on here in a while. Life gets busy. This is like my 5th time on YouTube in about 2 months. I hope you're doing good. Hail to the Commanders. First off, really hope you're doing good as well. Hope your life is going great. I look forward to chopping it up with you this off season. But yes, life gets busy, and that's what it's about to be for me as I, you know, get into this off season stuff. It's about to be busy as I get into sports at my school. It's about to be busy, but we're gonna keep grinding. And so I really hope that I see y'all, all of y'all, here in the future. And I just really can't thank y'all enough for all the support you've given me. I really do appreciate you, Astro, now for this super chat. Um, Anthony Perry, really appreciate you. Really appreciate you. I just can't thank y'all enough for all these super chats, man. I really do appreciate y'all for all these super chats. Thank you so much for this support. You guys just helped me reach my goal of 5 super chats on this stream. You guys don't even know how much this keeps this channel running, how much this moves this channel. So I really appreciate you, Anthony, for your super chat. You a cool dude. We just have different I don't know what you mean by that. It's a Game of Thrones. Your flag is a W, mine has an eagle. But we all men first. Respect to you. Again, really can't thank you enough for that comment. Normally I don't get along with bird fans, but you just come in here and you're not like one of them. You're not, you know, normally they'd be saying all this crap in the comments, saying we made a wrong move, firing our offense coordinator, defense coordinator today. And you're just not like that. You're just a nice guy. So I really appreciate you. You're a cool dude as well. Really appreciate you, man. And I should be, let's see if I can figure this out. Oh, we still have a good bit of comments left. I think a lot of guys would be lining up to Coach Jaden. Yeah, you're not wrong about that. You're my favorite Commander stream, so it's a pleasure to show up and hang with everyone here. Appreciate you, Steve, again, for all your support and that comment. Yeah, this is a nice community. Love what this community has been. Wait till we get, more subscribers and more family in here. It's going to be really, and that'll come soon. I truly do believe. Appreciate you for your support, man. Commanders will sign Rashad Whitt as their pass catching running back, kind of like an Austin Eckler replacement. I can see that. Yeah, you're not wrong. That could definitely happen. C-Rod is good, but replaceable at the same time. That is very true. I mean, I feel like, look at the way he runs. Look at the way he has run, these past few games. This dude is physical. This dude is, I mean, it's like every time there's a guy in the backfield, he shakes the guy off. Like it's just crazy to me how good C-Rod has been and how under the radar he's flown. So yeah, it's crazy. Washington should sign Rashad Whitt and Isaiah Likely on offense. Yeah, good luck on Likely, man. I'm great with getting both of those guys, and I hope they can. I think both those guys are reasonable to get. So yeah, I hope that happens. C-Rod over McNichols any day of the week, and that's easy for you to say because that's low-hanging fruit. Nobody wants a blocking running back, but you don't see the things that a blocking running back does. In my book, he's proven he's worth a little more than McNichols in their tenure as Commanders, in my opinion. Again, that's easy for you to say, and you're my guy, but that's very easy for you to say because nobody wants a blocking running back. Nobody wants a guy that can run the ball to the house. But you just don't see how important McNichols actually is. So I don't know. I haven't decided yet. We're going to do a video on that soon. Good with Likely too. I'm good with Likely too. I'd love to have Likely here. He's so athletic. A horrible moment for my fans. Again, most fans seem like they're basking in this news. So I don't know if it's horrible or not. Debo is not worth anything north of 10 million. He needs to re-sign for 2 years, 20 million. He can only do jet sweeps and bubble screens. No need to pay someone with such limited ability and increasing age. I'll agree with you on the age thing. He is getting older, so I don't really necessarily want to re-sign him. I'm good on Debo overall. If he agrees to a cheap deal, sure, but he's going to be wanting a big deal, and I just don't want. I just don't want to sign him back to a big deal. I don't want to give him another big deal here. So, Yeah, I'm good on him, but unless it's a really cheap deal, like I said. So we'll see. But he does have a limited play style. And we knew that when we traded for him. So I don't know why you're surprised, if you are surprised a little bit, that his play style is limited. That's the kind of player that he is in this league. I'm not giving up on those second rounders yet. The coordinators didn't give them much of a chance. I don't know. I think that's a tough call. That's a tough call. Yeah, I think I've given up on them a little bit. Just me personally. I don't think that uh they have much left. Like Mike Sammerstill, okay. Mike Sammerstill is maybe has a shot to be something. Heck, Nick Saban said he's the best player in the draft. So in that 2024 draft. So maybe he has a chance. He was great last year. I thought he was going to be something this year, but I think Mikey was being used a little bit wrong by Joe Whitt Jr. this year too. So we'll see. We'll see. It's just 2 days into the offseason. Yeah, it's already going horrible. I agree with the firing Joe Whitt Jr., but not Kliff Kingsbury. Again, this might not be horrible. We'll see how this shakes out. I don't have much else to say to that. We'll see how this shakes out. Giants make sense to Jackson Dart. Need I say more? Not only that, if Kliff was fired, he'd like nothing more than to go up against us twice a year. I agree with that. I agree with that. I think he'd work with any quarterback, but I think Dart would be a skill set that he would like to try to improve. Because Dart, you can see the potential, but he does make some wrong decision. He doesn't show his full ability most of the time. I think Kliff would die for the opportunity to do that. I think he would. Like the Giants, whoever gets that Giants head coaching job, they're going to be getting a good job. This is not the Raiders' job. They're going to be getting a good job because you look at their defensive line, you look at their defense, it's not bad. You look at their offense, it's not bad when Malik Neighbors is healthy, but he was out all year. Wan'Dale Robinson is good, right? Jackson Dart may be the answer, may not be. They got to get a running back, though. They got to find themselves a running back. Their offensive line is not bad. They have Andrew Thomas on the offensive line. So that job is going to be highly wanted. Highly wanted. They need to replace the strength and conditioning staff. Again, I don't have anything to say about that. That's not my type of thing to talk about those guys. Don't know if they're doing a good job or not. I mean, I heard, Von Miller shouting them out the other day in his press conference. I don't have anything to say about the strength and conditioning staff, right? Unless you're joking. I don't have anything to say about them. So win more than 5 games if you don't want change. That's exactly correct. That's exactly correct. I can't even argue anything with that, but we'll see. We'll see how the change works out. We did have change with the defensive coordinator. I didn't think we needed to change the offensive coordinator, though. So I'm just being honest. This team is firing everybody. Can something just go good for us this offseason? I do not want another horrible season. This offseason or this season had to come. Don't worry. Don't be upset. We have a quarterback. We have a real front office this time. Just trust the process. Just trust the process. It's too. Last year was too good. It's too obvious. Trust the process. This plan has to be stupid. Again, trust the process. We need Al Harris and Dayball. If you can bring both, shoot. But seriously, they're not going to bring Al Harris over, and they can't do that because Al Harris is not going to move laterally. He has to move up to a defensive coordinator if he goes anywhere else. So you can't just grab him off the Bears staff. So that basically rules that out. Kliff went about 10 straight games where nearly every single running play was straight up the gut for limited gains. And I remember that. And I was saying, you need to try to bounce some runs outside. I feel like if we get because I tell you all this a lot. We have an athletic offensive line. We have an athletic group on the offensive line. You need to get out and utilize that. And I felt like when they did that this year, like they were good. So, we'll see. We will see. Kliff likely has thoughts somewhere else. Thus why they agreed to part ways I thought Kliff to Atlanta made sense, but who knows where he goes. So JD5 has to start off freaking over. And that's probably why, and that's understandably why Jaden Daniels did not want this to happen. And he also probably did just like Kliff. But I think for me, it does suck. It does, and this does piss me off. Like I can tell you're pissed. This pisses me off too. This isn't um this isn't good, right? Unless we get a really good, offensive coordinator. But you got to remember, Caleb Williams had to learn a whole new offense last year, so it's not impossible. Anthony Perry, thank you for another super chat, man. Really appreciate you. Thank you for all your support. I know you probably want to dip because you're not a Commanders fan, so I just wanted to address this comment. Really appreciate you for the super chat, man. Can't thank you enough. Kliff going to the Giants isn't what I'd like. Yeah, I mean, I wouldn't like that either necessarily. I wouldn't want to throw him in the division. I would want to throw him somewhere else. So, again, really appreciate you for your support. If I can find where I was at, which I think I can. Let's see. Brian Daboll and Raheem Morris for coordinators. And that's very likely to happen, actually. But yeah, we'll see. We'll see. If the season doesn't go better next year, it'll be Dan Quinn's time. Yeah, he's on the hot seat. And if his coordinator choices don't work out, then yeah, there's trouble to be had. And that's what I told y'all earlier. Like these two decisions that Dan Quinn has to make this year, the new offensive coordinator, the new defensive coordinator, they're huge because they decide his future. So if Kingsbury doesn't get a head coaching job this season, would mean most teams are not in love with his offense. And that's true. And we'll see what he gets. But yeah, we'll see. We'll see. If JD want Ayuk, they're probably going to go get him. They'll listen to Jaden. They'll take Jaden, his opinion into account. They didn't with the Kliff Kingsbury stuff. They didn't with the Kliff Kingsbury stuff take Jaden's opinion into account. So I guess you can't necessarily say that, but I think they listen to that, I guess. Let's see. Kliff would be better off as a college coach. I like Gannon as defensive coordinator, and the fact that he's a younger man. Yeah, he's 43. I'd love him to come here. I think he could run a pretty good defense for us, and eventually possibly become the new head coach one day. So, yeah, I like that as well. Kliff is a great college head coach. We already know that. So, yeah, you're not wrong. He could be, dynamic in college, but he wants to be in the NFL. He wants to stay in the NFL. I think he's made that clear. I don't think he wants to go back down and work his way all the way back up, right? Adam Peters needs to lock in during free agency. Yeah, and he will. And he knows what he has to do. So, yeah. I know I wouldn't want it any other way. LMAO, good game, by the way, on Sunday. Y'all got us. Yeah, backups, third stringers, Tanner McKee in the game, whatever. Y'all, we forced y'all to play a road playoff game. So I guess we did do something good. Haven't been in the chat a while. What's up? What's going on, my guy? Astro, really appreciate you for joining up. Getsy was with Rodgers either for his Super Bowls or MVPs. I can't remember. Yeah, Luke Getsy. Again, I'm probably out on him. Seems a little bit older and seems like he's failed in the league so far. Besides obviously what you just mentioned. But his most recent stint, he seems like he's failed, and he does not seem like he would ultimately fit here real well. So, yeah, I'd probably be out on him, but I'll have to do more research. First off, I want to say thank you for this channel. It's been rough, but I wanted to ask, what do you think our chances of going 10-7 next season? Really appreciate you for that first comment as well. This is just a place for you guys to come. This is a place for me to get my opinions off and talk to y'all, because I really do appreciate this community. So appreciate you. I've been saying that our record is going to be 10-7 next year. So I think the chances are high. I think Jaden had a bad year. I think everybody had a bad year this year. Injury-riddled season. So they're going to fix things. They've already started firing people. So, yeah, it's going to be, I think it's going to be a solid chance of going 10-7. So I know you're asking, Carter, but my personal opinion is 10-7 is probably the best we can do next year. Too many holes in the roster for AP to fill this year, maybe 2027. Yeah, I also see your opinion. There are so many holes to fill, and then it makes 10-7 look a little bit, too large for us already. But yeah, I see your opinion. I see what you mean. So, I'm gonna actually let's see. Let me see. Now I'll leave that in. All right. Anyways, um, yeah, the best we can do 10-7. I see that. I see that. But um, again, I think a quarterback goes a long way, and that a quarterback kind of fills the holes in the roster like Jaden kind of did last year. So, but I understand your opinion. Yeah. Dead on Ayuk. White is also durable. Again, yes, totally dead on Ayuk. And yes, White is durable, and White is a very good running back. So I know jerks in every fan base. All I can do is represent myself. Facts, bro. Like that is the best, way to be, right? So you're awesome, bro. Cool Eagles fans always get the utmost respect from me. The rest of them can I rather not say. Yeah, I agree. I agree. If you're nice to me, I'm nice to you. Anthony never came in here and said anything. In fact, the night Anthony came on the channel was the Bears game we lost to come and give some words of encouragement. So really appreciate him if he's still in here. I'm just hoping we draft the safety. Yeah, Caleb Downs. Well, we were at 5 and we won on Sunday, and now we're down to 7. So if we ultimately do move down, or if we ultimately do get Caleb Downs, then that day might not be as bad as we're making it out to be. But if Caleb Downs goes at 6, we are going to be enraged. So we may or may not get him, but he's a generational safety. So I think Kliff goes to the Giants. I'm not going to like that either. Yeah, I'm not going to like that either. McNichols is in the same tier as John Bates, with them being better blockers than they are at the actual position. They both can play their position, but great at blocking. Yeah, like John Bates will catch some passes once in a while. Like every once in a while, right? They'll catch some passes, or McNichols will break a big run. They're top tier blockers though. So I agree with that. I know Bill's going to be working hard on blocking in the offseason, and the coaches will bring him along during camp and practices. We've still got Bates, and Yankov is coming along. Yankov has been really good, so I'm excited to see his progression this offseason. Yeah, I agree with you. I agree with you, Steve. Kliff was the best head coach. LOL, he got fired because of douche. Head coach was in his feelings, and his defense got exposed. Again, I wouldn't take it that far, but I feel like Kliff shouldn't have been fired, and that's just my opinion. We are going to be the only team to ruin our 2024 quarterback. LMAO, I will never be a fan of this team again. I wouldn't take it that far until next year. Again, next year is the year for everything. If Jaden sucks next year, like if Jaden gets hurt next year, like 4 times, then you probably are going to want to call it quits as a fan. I'm not, but you are, just based off how you are now. If we suck again next year, like, yeah, but everything relies on next year. That's the year for me. Ayuk is crazy like Antonio Brown. Yeah, and he's a nutcase. I don't ever want to see him on my football team. Ever. Ever. He gave up millions of dollars. That is stupid and crazy. It is. It is. He's an idiot. Who do you want in the draft? I don't mind taking a wide receiver. I'm going to have to disagree with you there. I don't want a wide receiver in the draft. I don't want a wide receiver in the draft. Sorry, in the first round. We have too many holes in the defense to take a wide receiver in the first round. Too many holes. So, yeah, give me Caleb Downs, give me David Bailey, give me Ruben Bain, give me Arvell Reese. We just need an edge rusher. And Adam Peters said at his press conference, like, they are hunting for the edge rushers. They are looking for the edge rushers. They're going to draft an edge rusher. He told us that. So we'll see, ultimately who they select. But I think if Downs is there, like I just don't think you can pass up on him. This is a great draft for edge rushers in general, so you can get one in the second round. So I'd go with Downs for right now. Lions just fired Morton. I did see that. I saw that notification come through. That's interesting. That's interesting. Carter, stop crying, man. Those coaches forgot more football than you would ever know. Again, I don't really care what your opinion is, to be honest with you. So Kliff should have stayed one more year, should have been able to stay one more year. And Whitt should have gotten fired. That's my opinion. I've already told you that. No crying involved. I mentioned a bit ago that if Kliff was in fact fired, I bet he'd love to coach Dart and the Giants against us. He would. He would. He would. Wow, you remember that? You're a real one, bro. Most people can't remember what they ate last Wednesday. Yeah, I just because I remember that Bears night. I remember how depressed I was. So that's why I remember it. Yes, but I try to remember those type of things, man. When people come on the channel for the first time or whatever. I want Raheem Morris as our new defensive coordinator. This would be an A+ hire. Yeah, I wouldn't say A+, but I wouldn't mind bringing him on. Like, if you look at his so I saw a tweet, like, see if I can find this. See if I can find this Raheem Morris. Yeah. There was a list of Raheem. So I'll tell you this. In 2021, Raheem Morris was ranked as the ninth best defense with the Rams. That was his best ever year as a defensive coordinator. He hasn't been good since. He's been in the 20s or 30s as a defensive coordinator in his whole career. Besides that time he was ninth. So, I don't know. I want Caleb Downs in the draft. I agree. Backup quarterback is going to be huge. Mariota definitely going with Kliff. It's gonna be crazy. I hope Mariota doesn't leave. Obviously, none of us do. I think we really need him back. But at the end of the day, it's like the plan is not to lose. The plan is not to play your backup. So if we lose Mariota, it is what it is. We are going to lose a lot of guys though to Kliff, though, too. He's going to take some players. He's going to take some people. Sorry. If we need a cornerback for next season to replace Marshawn Lattimore, well, Marshawn obviously not here. We can draft Mansour Delane. Again, haven't done my draft study. Don't know who that is. I wish I could give you a better answer. So that was the last comment. Long stream. I told you this was going to be a long one. Like, I just had a lot to say, a lot of things to go over. So that's going to do it for me. You guys take care. Have a blessed rest of your Tuesday. I really do look forward to chopping it up with you guys tomorrow. Maybe there's some big news tomorrow. Maybe we hire someone already tomorrow. Other than that, please leave a like on this stream on the way out. Please subscribe to this channel on the way out. If there's any of you that happen to be unsubscribed right now, please go ahead and click that subscribe button on the way out and that like button on the way out. I'll see you guys in the next one. Hail the Commanders as always. Thank you guys for stopping by. I really do appreciate y'all. Kliff Kingsbury out. Joe Whitt Jr. out. Let's make some hires.